Hello. In the previous video, we have demonstrated how to utilize tables and graphs to present and summarize data in a visual way. However, tables and graphs cannot provide a precise and numerical description of central tendency and variance of data. So in this video, we will learn how to summarize data in a different way and focus on the measures of central tendency. In particular, we are going to discuss three different measures: the mean, the median, and the mode. In statistics, the mean is probably the most popular measure of summarizing the central tendency of data. Mathematically, the mean is equal to the average value of the data, which is given by accumulating all data and then divided by the total number of the observation in the data. As shown in this equation, we use mu to represent the mean. Given a population size n, we sum up all those n observations and divide it by n. One disadvantage of using the mean is that it is affected by extreme value. To give you a special example, supposing a population size of 100, if 99 of them have a monthly income of only $1,000 per person, but one of them has a monthly income of $1,001,000, then the mean is $1,100,000 divided by 100 equal to $11,000, which is 11 times of those 99 people. Therefore, the mean does not represent the income level of most people. In this example, the monthly income of $1,001,000 is an extreme value and an outlier. We just mentioned an outlier and would like to define it formally here. Outliers are measurements that are very different from other measurements. They are either much smaller or much larger than most of other data. For example, in this given data set, the rightmost value, 120, is much larger than the rest of the data, which are typically between 1 and 4. So 120 is an outlier. Another popular central tendencies measure is the median. In definition, the median is the middle point of the data set. The median is also referred to as the 50th percentile because it sits in the middle of the data set. To find the median, we can sort the data in either ascending or descending order. Then find the value of the middle point. For example, in this data set with only 5 values, after sorting the data in either ascending or descending order, we have 70,000 as the middle point, which is the median. One benefit of using the median instead of the mean is that the median is not affected by the extreme values, which are either too small or too big, because the median is in the middle of the data set. In the previous example, the total number of the data is an odd number, so it is easy to identify the middle point. When there's an even numbers data set, the median is found by averaging the two middle values. For example, in this given data set, we have 10 data points representing the numbers of hours that those 10 adults were spent on Facebook last month. After sorting the data, we can tell that the middle values are 5 hours and 7 hours, and the means of these two values is 6. We conclude that the typical adult Facebook user spends 6 hours per week at Facebook. Notice that the median is not one of the values, and half of the observations are below the median and half are above it. The third measure for central tendency is called mode. In definition, the mode is the value that occurs the most frequent in the dataset. For example, in the graph on the right, featuring the numbers of the respondents favoring different types of the bath oils. The first one, on the leftmost, has the most responses, so it is the mode. Different from the mean and the median, they are good for numerical data. We can use the mode for both categorical and quantitative numerical data. Because we do not need to sort those data or take the average of the sum. Similar to the median, the mode is also typically immune to extreme values. However, sometimes there could be no mode. When all observed values appear the same numbers of times in the dataset, and there could be more than one mode, when the highest frequency was observed for more than one value in a dataset. So far, we have discussed 3 different measures of central tendency: the mean, the median, and the mode. Thus, we might wonder which measure is the best to summarize the central tendency. To be fair, each measure has its own advantage and disadvantage, as we have previously discussed. We can now further compare these 3 different measures in the following graph. First, let us assume that the data is perfectly symmetrically distributed in a bear shape as follows. Provided that the data is perfectly symmetric in this graph, the mean, the median, and the mode are the same. In this type of data, we also say that the skewness of the distribution is 0. In the left skew distribution of data, the skewness is negative, and we have some outliers distributed on the left. In this scenario, the mean is shifted to the left tail. The mode is at the peak of the distribution curve, and the median appears in the middle of the mean and the mode. Thus, we have the mean less than the median, less than the mode. By contrast, in a right skew distribution of data, the skewness is positive, and we have some outliers distributed on the right tail. In this scenario, the mean is shifted to the right. The mode is at the peak of the distribution curve, and the median appears in the middle of the mean and the mode. Thus, we have the mode less than the median, less than the mean. As we discussed, outliers are values with small frequencies that occur away from most of the other data. So when they are outliers, the median is often a better statistic to use than the mean. Otherwise, either one is fine. The measures of the mean, the median, and the mode provide us a good sense of central tendency. However, the measure of central tendency is not sufficient to describe all attributes of data. For example, as shown in the right graph, the average path of the drunk person is in the middle of the road and has no collision with any car. However, based on the walking path of the drunken person, he will almost certainly get hit by some cars. Therefore, it is not the mean that kills the drunken person, but the variance does. In the following video, And next modules, we will continue to discuss measures of variance. To summary, we discussed 3 different measures of central tendency: the mean, the median, and the mode. Each of them has some advantages and disadvantages. If the data is almost symmetric in a bear shape, it is fine to use any of them. However, if the data distribution is heavily skewed, the median can be a better measure than the mean. Thanks.